Most of us think of an archaeological dig as something that happens in a remote part of the world by scientists looking for ancient civilizations. But did you know that there are archaeologists working to uncover the history of our area? Stay with us. We're digging up the past right here at home. Campus Conversations is next.
Welcome to Campus Conversations. I'm Steve Simon.
And I'm Fritzi Bodenheimer. Today we're joined by Montgomery College professors Mary Gallagher and Jeannie Robinson, both of the Sociology, Anthropology, and Criminal Justice Department, and by Dr. Jim Sorensen, an archaeologist with the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Welcome to you all.
Hello.
Thank you. I want to start by making a confession. I love Harrison Ford, and I learned to love him when he was Indiana Jones. And I know enough to know that it's a movie and it's not probably the real way that archaeologists work. So help us separate the fact from the fiction a little bit in terms of what an archaeologist does. And Jim, I'll start with you.
Well, I've seen most of them, and they're pretty exciting. But they're always usually after something, and somebody's after them, you know, that kind of thing. And once they've captured the something, you know, they put it in a museum or hide it in the bowels of the federal government or something like that. You know. And I think one of the things that we have to remember is that while archaeology is about artifacts, it's about relations of artifacts in the ground. It's about understanding how you dig them up, and how you dig them up is the most important thing that gives you the information that you need to interpret the site. So it isn't just one artifact or a couple of them that would be important to interpret what was going on.
Mary and Jeannie, let's talk a little bit about archaeology in the classroom, which I think one of the great things, probably one of the things that attracts students to this class or these classes, is that so often the classroom is not your traditional classroom. How do you teach archaeology at Montgomery College? What are the things that students will find here?
Well, we do lots of different things. We study a lot of prehistory, which is before written languages about people. But we also do a lot of the techniques of archaeology. So we try and get the students out in the field all of the time so that they can get dirty and they can not only have the joy of discovery, but begin to learn about the relationship of things in space and the story of ordinary people that tells. So our collaboration with Jim is really most important, I think, because it gives us a venue to get our students out looking at real sites. So he helps us provide those to give those students that experience.
And tell us about some of the sites that your students have been working on recently.
Oh, we've had some wonderful ones. Jeannie, last summer, there's an advanced class in archaeology that she runs in the summertime. And this last summer, she took a site that we've been working on for a couple of years called the Nursery Site, which is right next to Rock Creek Park. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about that one.
That has been so interesting because in some respects, it has been a salvage project. There was a family who were horticulturalists that lived by Rock Creek. And during the diggings for their plants and the produce that they put together, they found many arrowheads. And so we actually heard a story that there was a collection and the family had maintained these things. So I found them, and we've been able to work on identifying the artifacts and putting them in a chronological sequence, and also getting the students out to dig the site. So it's been a wonderful collaboration with an individual and family within the community. It also turns out part of the site was on parkland, so Jim gave us full permission to work on that portion. And the students got to learn about collaborations, preservation of the past, and what's being done today to preserve the site. So,
I think one of the more interesting things about that too is that the fact that you could find such a site down there along Rock Creek in a rather urbanized area. And I think that's because the park system itself is a Stream Valley Park system, and so sort of serendipitously, those prehistoric peoples who camped near the water, those campsites have been preserved because of the parkland down there. Rock Creek and Sligo Creek and all sorts of things like that.
And we were talking earlier, it's amazing to think that there were prehistoric people. We think of our country as kind of youngish, and that there were prehistoric people. I guess there are a variety of sites in terms of ages throughout the county.
Well, this nursery site was really interesting because there's evidence of people from about 8,000 BC all the way up until about 1500 AD from this one site, from artifacts that we have gotten back there. So almost 10,000 years, and they kept coming back because of the water, because it was probably a nice view, because there were good rocks that they could make artifacts from. So, you know, a remarkable story of 10,000 years almost.
One of the things that seems to get you focused on the need for an archaeological dig, Jim, we were talking before the show about a major project coming to Montgomery County and to Prince George's County. Everybody knows that there's a major planned highway in the InterCounty Connector. I was fascinated to learn that that brings you into full gear, and also you found a way to connect Montgomery College students and professors in that. Tell us a little bit about what might be going on as a side story as people are thinking about this highway under development.
Yeah, anytime there's a federal project or state project, or federal or state land involved or permitting, archaeology's got to be part of your environmental impact statement, and that goes along with the ICC, it goes along with M83, it goes along with the Purple Line. So what they do is they have to hire an archaeological firm to go excavate, to find the sites along the route. And as the sites are found along the route, they're evaluated for their importance. And one of them was a quartzite quarry off of Emory Road, and they didn't think it was quite as important as we did. So I was able then to go back and to excavate a greater portion of it to get more information out of it using Montgomery College and the workforce and the students there. And so it was a really good cooperative effort.
So let's hear back what the students are doing actually on a site like that.
Well,
They're doing all of it.
they're enthusiastic about it, and what we have them do is usually excavate small test excavations so they learn the techniques. But sometimes we follow in the path of Jim, and he's already opened up a bigger unit, and then they get to work jointly on that. But that particular site he's mentioning yielded a lot of material, and the students were really astounded by it. I had honors students who said, wow, they really were here. You know, this is so much evidence of presence in the past. It really amazed them. They're very interested in it.
The other interesting thing about it is, too, that those are primary source material. You actually can lift up something from the dirt that is 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years old and hold it in your hand. It's not a secondary sort of thing. So that there's an actual connection, direct connection with the past that you don't get from books or archival material, things like that. It's really
I'm curious, once you find something in the dirt or wherever you're digging, how do you know how to date it? What kinds of techniques are there, and are they different now in the computer age?
Sometimes, yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
Basically, most of the things that are left behind prehistorically are rock, you know, usually. And there are different, well, most of them, let's say, the datable ones are the shapes of the points, the spear points or the dart points or the arrowheads, and they change over time. And what happens is that the earlier ones are on the bottom, and the later ones are on the top. And so what happens is, every time you come across a different soil type, you're probably in a different time zone. And over the years, archaeologists have found hearths associated usually with those types of points. And so you date the hearth by carbon-14 dating, and that gives you a date for the artifacts through time.
And so in a sense, the dirt is like the timeline.
Oh, yeah.
Often.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating.